Hello everyone and welcome back to the Virtual Jewish Cookbook. I'm your host, Chef Breinstead, and on today's episode I want to share one of my favorite, most simple salads you could put together for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're going to be utilizing some of the most common ingredients like tomatoes, cucumbers, and onions, and adding a little bit of parsley, doing a little bit of a twist, adding olives. If you don't like olives, you don't have to add them. Good olive oil, salt, pepper, the zest and juice of a lemon, and that is it. Let's get right to this recipe and make some beautiful, delicious, and healthy salad that we can enjoy every day of the week. I promise that. So to start off, we're gonna rinse all our vegetables, dry them off. We're gonna start off with our cucumbers. We're just gonna thinly slice the butts, discard them, and then we're really trying to go for a small dice. So I'm going to go ahead and slice this as thinly as I can. Okay. You can also place it down and use this way of the knife if you feel more comfortable. The other way is you can always split it down the middle and then kind of work from that point. Whatever you're most comfortable with, just go with that. Of course, this is a great time to practice your knife skill. So we are going for a smaller dice. Okay, so now that our cucumbers are sliced, we're going to go ahead and slice them down again to create these beautiful long strips that we're going to turn into diced cucumbers. Okay, bring them back around and just use your knife, but go slowly, and you will get super nice squares of cucumbers. Okay, we're going to add our cucumbers to the bowl. And we're doing everything in one bowl, so the entire dressing is getting seasoned, everything is getting seasoned inside this bowl, so it's super easy to put together and super easy to clean up as well. Okay, now we're going to dice our tomatoes, so we're going to take the ends of those as well. And we don't have to discard that, we can go ahead and just dice around that and utilize, the entire tomato as we should be doing. Okay, and then go ahead and slice this down, same size as we did the cucumbers. Okay, same thing over here. And this is really a great therapy to do after work, after a long day. You're just there with the vegetables, the knife, the cutting board, and you're making something very healthy for yourself as well. Okay, dice these up. So as you see, I'm making long stripes and then turning those into dice. And if you feel more comfortable doing with a bigger pile, go ahead and do that. But if you don't, you can just doing one, slice at a time until you do get comfortable. And then it'll become a little bit more efficient as well. Okay. Almost done with the tomatoes. Okay, get these in the bowl as well. And now we're going to move on to our red onion. Now if you don't have red onion, you can always substitute white onion. Just use a little bit less. And then if you have green onion, you can always do that as well. So there's really two ways to go about this. but the real professional way was to cut 3 slices down the middle and then kind of go down this way, making the stripes, and then come back around, and then you're making the dice. And once you get to the butt, you make some stripes, come back around, and dice. Okay, so one more time. 3 slices, or 2 slices down the middle, and then stripes, and then cut it down to dice. And once we get to the end, stripes, and then dice it. So everything in this salad is the same size, more or less. Okay, so mix in our onions. Now I'm adding some olives. If you don't like olives, you don't have to add them. These are Kalamata olives. I think they fit in this salad very well and add a little bit of a twist that's not usual. And we're just gonna slice these so we can show them off. And you could use as many or as little as you like. I'm using about 5 to 6 pitted Kalamata olives here. Add that to the party. Okay, and then I'm going to be adding a little bit of garlic just to give it a bite. I'm just going to go ahead and use the same technique for the onion, just to get a super small dice on this garlic. Okay, now moving on to the parsley. And the reason I left it whole with the stems is because we are going to want to use these stems. Now these stems are going to be a little bit more fibrous, so all we have to do to utilize them is get them as thin as possible. So we're going to go ahead into a super small slice on these parsley stems, and they definitely add a little bit of texture and a good amount of freshness to the salad. So utilize those stems, don't just toss them out. Okay, add that in there, and then we're going to just take our parsley, fold it a couple times, and then all we're really going for the parsley is like a chiffonade or just thin slices. That's going to give us beautiful freshness and is going to give us that color of pop. Okay, get that in there. Okay, so now that we have everything in here, okay, we're ready to zest our lemon. So we're going to take our microplane. If you don't have a microplane, you could use a peeler and very thinly cut around and then julienne that and then mince that in there. But this is a great tool to have, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. Also, utilizing any citrus is great in any salads. So we're going to go ahead and zest an entire lemon into here, and that's going to give us that citrus aroma and really take this, simple salad up a notch. Okay. There you go. Get that in there. Now we're going to pepper. And whenever you're seasoning anything, you want to pretend that it's laid out on a tray. And if you would take your hand and just sprinkle a little bit on each slice, how much it would be, and kind of go around the bowl as you're doing that. Okay, same thing with the salt. Awesome. Now we're going to take this lemon, we're going to roll it to get as much juice out of it as possible. Okay, slice it, and then we're going to apply our hand just to capture all the seeds. You don't want to be biting into a lemon seed, they're very bitter. And get as much juice as you can as possible. Now if you don't want to go too lemony or you're not a fan of too much citrus, you can just omit that, and pretty much goes for any part of the salad. It's still gonna end up very, very delicious. Okay. And then probably a good tablespoon or 2 of good olive oil. And we're just ready to mix all this up. Look at all these beautiful colors. We have so much freshness in here. Everything is diced. Everything is, party fun sized in here. And we're just gonna mix this all up and let it mingle for about 5 minutes before we go ahead and enjoy it. Nope. So really with the mixing, you just want everything to get incorporated. You do want to mix so that the oil and salt and everything really combines together with the lemon juice and the vegetables. And then we have Israeli salad. If you haven't seen that recipe as well, go ahead and check that out as well.